Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 117 of Trials and Trebuchets. I am your Dungeon Master, Luke, and joining me are my players.
Hi, my name is Ben, and I play the level 6 gnome wizard, Windsor Wallaby, along with his cuddly little companion, Mr. Wiggles.
Hello everyone, I'm the Air Freshener, and I'm Carla, and I play the level 6 Tiefling Roguelock,
The Air
Integrity Adelberry. I seriously can't believe that it took this long for someone to welcome us into a highly sensitive area where the god and their children live. Who can I report to?
What is your manager?
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I play Mira Marchand, the level 6 half-elf bard. As of now, she is the most honest she's ever been. Because she's under a truth spell, if you don't remember from last week.
And my name is Sam, and I play the level 6 human sorceress, Serenep Cinderman, a kind of buzzkill of the group at this point. But you know what? Just don't go through things. It's fine.
Yeah. And last time on Trials and Trebuchets, the students stood shoeless in the entrance to the skyscraping loft of elders. With their quick problem-solving skills, the four, with the skin-stealing, muddy, posing Devil Witch Ferdinand in tow, ascended to the canopy of this magnificent monument, gaining comfort and magical truth-telling as they searched for anyone at all to grant them sanctuary on behalf of Isithil, the deity of nature and creation. Poking pools of oil and perusing primordial papers, the students were found where Serenep feared they ought not to be. An old voice called out, belonging to a being of animate wood, attired in a quilted robe, when they spoke of sanctuary. And that's exactly where we are. This person, this wooden humanoid, has just addressed the lot of you, the five of you standing here in this small wooden room. Surrounded, there's a wicker wall with different spell reagents growing upon it. Winslow, you were standing by a basin with this iridescent oil-like substance that had this weird consistency to it and is just a smooth surface finish. Mira, you were poking through a journal of someone's and had very quickly, hastily even, tried to throw it back on that stand. Can you actually give me a stealth check or some sort of check to make sure that you can get away with putting that back?
It falls on the floor.
What is my
Just
stealth?
throw it out the window the Winslow way.
15 plus 5, that is a non-natural 20.
Okay. Integrity, I forget if you were doing anything specific. And then Serenep, you were, I assume, standing arms crossed at the door saying, "We should not be in here, everyone. This is very rude." And of course, Ferdinand the Witch, on top of Integrity's floating disc, doing different poses and just overall having a grand old time here. But you were all addressed by this figure, this wooden figure. They have a gnarled and knotted face that is made of bark. Their neck and hands and feet, everything that you can see seems to be this greenish brown bark. They hold in their right hand a little, it looks like they're using it as a walking stick, and it is a wooden arrow of sorts, this kind that you would shoot in a bow and arrow, but entirely made from wood. And their robes are made of almost a patchwork of different scraps of fabric, pieces of fur, feathers, scales, all sorts of different things. And they addressed all of four plus Ferdinand of you, and will say, "Did you say something about sanctuary?"
Yes, we are here to seek sanctuary with the gods, and hopefully be able to have some peace talks to deal with the problem that we're having. Your Grace.
No need to call. Thank you for the niceties, but there's no need to say such things to me. I am a simple caretaker.
Does that mean I can stand up now?
Oh yeah, you guys all, I forgot. Yes, sorry. You guys all actually bowed down. I apologize.
We're literally kneeling
down.
with
We're
our
kneeling.
head on the ground, where I am.
Yeah.
At least.
I'm not kneeling, but my hand is to my chest, and I'm bowing.
Very respectful.
They'll say, "Oh, yes, of course. Feel free to stand up."
Okay, good, because my legs are getting a little tired from doing that.
I would never want. Do you need me to look at them or something?
No, my legs are fine where they are, thanks.
They can stay where they are.
Ow.
I can move closer to you.
My knees are so
if you have any
crunchy.
aches or pains, I can take
Do you guys
care
need
of
help up?
Sore, aching joints, anything of the sort.
We have been
Ferdinand, what do you
wandering for
make of
quite a
this guy?
while.
Yes.
Fairly. We've made a long journey.
Yes, I watched you for a time on your way. I expected you to come into the main hall upon entry. I was waiting for you there. It's typically where visitors come into. It's where they can have a grand little talk with me, but we can have the talk here in my chambers if you wish.
Do you do the gods take like forms for like feedback?
I can take a feedback form on behalf of Isathil, yes.
Maybe in that lobby area where the lift
Yes.
was, maybe if you could have like a sign that actually says main hall on one of the doors, so maybe we won't get confused, or
A little
people won't
hanging
get
one
confused.
below the archway to say, come through here.
Go through this
Yeah.
door
Visitor
and
Yeah,
not
we,
the
like,
other doors.
Of
Didn't
course.
mean to like be wandering in places we shouldn't be. We
don't
just weren't
worry,
really
no.
sure where to go.
There would be doors if you weren't supposed to be here.
Okay, okay, cool.
So the matter of sanctuary, and they'll put their
Is that
hand
foreshadowing?
like, on the railing, and they'll say, "You are free to be here, and may Isathil bless your presence. If any of you are to commit violence while here, you will be thoroughly punished with swift and divine justice."
Does that just apply to us, or does that apply to anybody who's coming here? Because we wanted to invite a witch and an elephant bounty hunter person and a slad here to do peace talks with us, and we want to make sure that they don't do any violence against us either.
Mira,
I can't I have little ability to, I personally have little ability, especially now of all times, to prevent them from doing violence towards you. I can do the best that I can if you want to meet them here, but I do promise you that Isathil watches over this place with careful eyes.
Excuse me.
Yes. Your Joyce Enki, did you want to take me up on that? And they'll reach a hand out. You can see it's like knotted and gnarled. As they like reached out, like in like a kind gesture, it almost like starts to glow a little bit with like this yellowy kind of very warm energy.
Yes, please. My knees are very sore. We've been walking and traveling for many hours.
Yes.
But I also
Along
just
the rivers. I was watching.
but I just wanted to ask, because one of the people that we are meeting up did kill someone in front of the halls of what's her name? What's that god's name?
The marble halls of Estar it was.
Did kill someone in front of the marble halls of Estar. So, like, will they be punished when they come here?
That's for Estar to deal with, and that's no business of our great deity Isathil. As long as they have not done crime against my god, then they're welcome here. And they give you a warm, woody smile.
So
Now, did you have anything else that you wanted to speak about?
What's your name?
Oh, I'm Semolai.
How is that spelled?
Semolai. Semolai.
Semolai, got it. Like semolina,
Yeah,
but
like the flower.
Yes.
Just
Yeah,
And they're a
pasta.
tree.
and they're a tree. Yes. What's your question?
while we are I'm assuming that we could send word soon. Is there a place that I could sit down for a bit?
They will look at you, Serenep, up and down, and then you see it's like that thing where someone's looking over your head, and this person, Semolai, stares at the little sprout on top of your head and grins greatly and says, I could make a place for all of you to lie down in. If you need to rest, I assume it will take a while for our other visitors to arrive once they're invited. Where did you get that, young one?
We were traveling, you see.
Yes.
Before the need for sanctuary came, we were traveling to the marsh for our school. We're students from Wildcliff.
Yes. You were the ones who, I offer a sincere apology. You had tried to speak to the speaker for the first.
Yes, and I believe I
Yes.
angered some people, and I
Oh.
wanted to apologize for that.
No. The apology is on our behalf. I extend an apology on behalf of the elders. They are in a tense situation right now and did not want to be bothered.
Pigeon.
Uh,
Jeez.
we welcome you here to Isathil. But you were walking on the way, and
Um,
did you just happen to run into a little sweetling like that?
We were walking through some trees, and one of the
Huh.
branches had fallen and sort of hit me on the head, and
Oh.
this has been growing from my head since.
Oh, that's very lovely.
Hmm.
Would you like to keep them?
Would
It's
it be
very good, in my opinion, but I might be a bit biased. It's very nice luck to have a sweetling with you for a little while. You could plant it wherever you want once it's large enough, and soon enough your own tree will grow.
would it be possible to not that it's getting a little bit heavy on my head
Mhm.
itself.
I could make a neck brace for you.
Sure, that would work
That
wonderful.
That would be great. Oh, excellent. The other four of you, is there any ways that I could accommodate you any further? Any other feedback you'd like to give on your time here at the Loft of Elders?
No?
Okay.
Don't
Very
think so.
well.
My knee.
Oh, you need. Sorry, of course. Yes. And they'll with their walking stick, come over towards you and into the room. Integrity. They'll kneel down. You can hear their creaking of little wooden limbs as they do kneel on the ground, and they will reach out a hand, and you feel a warm magic flow through you. Are you missing any hit points?
No, I'm not missing any hit points.
Okay. Well, in absence of that, they do seem to cure what ails you to at least a small degree. Your achy joints from just doing essentially a day full of hiking. You guys hiked from the entrance into Isithil all the way to Pitter, and then from Pitter to the marsh, and then from the marsh back through the bookverse, and then from the bookverse all the way here. It's been a very long and difficult day. But you feel a lot of that fatigue leave your body as Semilai waves their hands around you, and a yellow aura kind of envelopes you.
So would you say that I've been rested?
Envelops you. I would not say you've been rested, no.
Oh, okay.
That's not the words I would use.
What are you trying to do, Integrity?
Who is it that will all of you be able to send word out to those who you wish to come? Are they already on their way? Or do you need assistance from me?
Well, the ivory masked person probably knows where, because the
Yeah.
tracker. Slad
It
will
probably
probably
wouldn't hurt to get a formal invitation, though.
Of
Yeah.
course. It's always
We have to
nicer
send-
when it's
and
there's a bit of circumstance.
we have to send word to Artis as well.
Yeah.
Who's that?
That's our mentor. We were split up when we came here. He said he would be here, so
I
I'm
can
just
take a look and try to see if I can. What does he look like? Is he a distinct figure? I could take a look and see if I can find him somewhere in the woods.
he's fairly tall, taller than I am. He's an elf. Pale, dark
Okay.
hair, looks very tired.
I know the man you're speaking of. I've
And
seen him.
stressed.
Yes.
Just
I
kind of
can-
constantly tired.
I can look for him. If that's not distressing. Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, if you need me, I will be looking for your mentor artist in the woods. Would you like me to send word to your fellow visitors, or do you have means to do so already? There are animals out in the canopy if you need to send a message.
You like birds?
Birds, there's Pegasus of some sort, some winged lizards, all sorts.
Well,
Squirrels.
someone definitely needs to talk to Celti, right? Celti has no idea where we are.
Mm.
Well,
She'll
they
be
would receive
visiting.
word from the message, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what she's saying, that we need to send a message to Seldy and to Loud the Slod and to, she never told us her name, but she has this ivory mask. She looks like she's part elephant. She's like a bounty hunter. She'll probably be looking for us.
I see. What are you all roped up in? Why?
Do you
I
mean
don't
do you
mean to
mean
pry.
figuratively or literally? I point to the rope by Ferdinand and Integrity.
By the way, Ferdinand has been shockingly quiet this entire time. She was doing silly poses this entire time that you were in here, but has kind of stopped. She's become a bit sheepish at this point.
Oh, she's under the spell. She's under the spell, and she knows that if she says anything, it has to be true.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Maybe we should have a conversation with Ferdinand before they arrive.
I don't mean to pry into your situation, of course. All sanctuary is guaranteed here, but is there a larger thing afoot that it might be good to know of? The elders are, after all, supposed to keep the plane in balance. So if there is a large storm brewing, I would very much appreciate knowing about it.
Yes,
Could
she's
be.
a witch, and a bunch of people want to kill her.
Your friend? Here.
She's not really our friend, but yes.
Ferdinand will smile and give a very sheepish wave. I imagine her like almost standing behind Integrity, like gotten off the Tensor's floating disc and like very much like trying not to.
She falls through the floor because her feet are dirty.
Oh my gosh.
Bye.
See ya.
Your friend here. All right.
And basically, we have been in some form or another contracted by each individual to give her to one of them. And we
Oh, very
have,
well.
yeah.
That kind of situation.
If only we could divide her into threes and give each of them a slice like cake.
No violence,
It's my
please.
Ferdinand. No, it's my
violence in the
Ferdinand.
Loft
We
of
will cut
Elders,
it in
please.
half.
No.
This wooden person looks incredibly distressed when you guys make these jokes and goes, "No, please, no violence here. Please don't cut people into pieces."
We're not gonna do that.
Oh no, I didn't actually mean that. I'm sorry. When I'm stressed, I make jokes.
Oh. And they'll smile, grimace almost, and say, "Okay, I'll leave you two things. I'll be in the canopy at my looking glass if you need me. It's a pleasure meeting the five of you." And she'll smile greatly at your little sprout on top of your head, Serenepth, and will say, "Farewell, sweetling," waving almost to the little plant itself before walking slowly away. Integrity, was there something you
Can
wanted
I
to say?
feel if it waves back?
It doesn't.
though.
You don't feel it wave back. It's a little bit
Dang it.
sway, but that's mostly just because it's kind of heavy and you're off balance with it. Integrity, was there something you wanted to do? You had your hand up.
Before you go, can I
Oh.
ask one last question?
Absolutely, I'm here. You can ask as many questions as you want.
Um,
You're my honored guests here, and by extension, Isathil's honored guests here in this plane. But here in the loft specifically, you're my guests.
Are we allowed to use magic here, and it won't be sort of seen as an aggression towards the gods or the elders? Like, not magic that will harm anyone, but just magic in
Yes.
general?
I would love it if you did some magic. I didn't know you were magical.
Well, we're learning it at my school.
Oh, feel free to look through my books then. You might find something that's valuable. If you
Oh.
find anything
Okay.
Where?
if you find anything that's interesting, you can feel free to take it. I know I have all of it memorized. People bring me new books all the time.
Oh, so it is okay to look at books and things.
Yes, absolutely. Everything again, if it's not behind a closed door, then feel free to look. And if it's behind a closed door, I won't stop you from trying because I understand the natural curiosity that mortals have.
I understand you and Doors have some difficult pasts.
But thank you all for being so kind. Oh, if I could be a bit rude as a host, I do enjoy collecting a little memento of those who come visit me. And they'll like kind of wiggle or like flap their robe a bit and say, would you mind if I could have a scrap of fabric from each of you? I love having the memories of those who come and pay me a visit with me always.
I've given too much sentimental stuff away. I don't know.
I can give you a scrap of fabric, but like you're not gonna use it for anything like dangerous, right? And I only ask because we were with Salty before, and she seems like very dangerous, and she's always asking for scraps of our things, and we're a little bit suspicious about what she's asking it for.
I only ask so that I might remember. I can remember the books, but so many people come and go that if I didn't have anything to remember them by, it would be difficult. So a little fabric or a fun memory is always... I won't steal from you a fun memory, I apologize, but I just hope that in our time here we could have something memorable so that I could just have a fond recollection of these times. That's why I keep the journals, and they'll reference the bunch of leather journals on the bookshelf and stuff and continue and say, so just a scrap of fabric for my robes is all I ask.
I'm gonna take my dagger.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm going to like take my coat, which I believe is blue.
Yes.
And
Your poncho.
yeah, like the poncho, and I'm going to rip or cut the bottom part and give it to Semilai.
Okay. They'll take it graciously.
Um,
And you see that almost like with the passage of a hand, they push it onto like their chest, and it just becomes knitted in
Oh,
to the robe
that's weird.
immediately.
Now they smell like onions.
Serenep will take the loose end of her tunic
Mm-hmm.
and she'll cut like you know how like some like clothing has like that design where it's like a triangle like just in the side of a clothing for no reason.
Yes, I do.
She kind of just cuts out like a triangle
Hell
and
yeah.
gives that to her.
Hell yeah. Okay. Someone I will
think
put this. Yeah, Mira.
Mira's gonna cut like a little thing in like the neckline of the shirt to like give it more of like a little V-neck, just because like still looks stylish and
I thought
it's
you
a
were
little
even
scrap.
gonna offer some rat tails, and I was gonna be. That would have been very funny to me.
I don't want to cut into my magical outfit. What if that
That's
ruins
true.
it?
That's true. Good point. She'll take that. She'll take these two triangles from you, Mira, and you, Serenep, graciously, and attach them in a similar manner, on the robe. What about you, Winsler? Just the whole poncho.
Whole poncho. No.
Part of my soul.
No. I'm gonna conjure up some glowy scissors.
Cut your
Some
hat.
glowy what?
Cut your
Scissors.
Oh,
hat.
scissors. Oh, okay. Yes.
Scissors.
I thought you
Um,
said something about seed.
I'm just
doors, and I
gonna
was like,
take off my
again?
hat
Yeah.
and I'm gonna like snip the pointy end off.
Oh. Okay. And you'll hand this over to Semilai. They will grin greatly and say, "This is very memorable." And they'll stick it like on their shoulder, like a little pointy pauldron. And it will just
Aw.
knit itself into there.
Now I've got a hole in my hat.
Now you have a little hole in your hat. Winslow,
Mr. Wiggles can poke his
you
head through
now
it.
have
Exactly.
You now have vulnerability to rain, Winsler.
Well, look, I can let it fill with water, and then I'll always have water to like do stuff with.
You're always
Semilai-
taking a shower.
Ugh.
Semilai will raise their hand and point at Ferdinand and say, might I get a scrap of fabric from you?
Oof.
And Ferdinand will, again, she's like hiding a bit behind you, Integrity, trying to remain out of sight. And she is like Ava Redding, so she's a bit taller than you, if I recall. So she might even be hunched over a little, and she'll like whisper in your ear, Integrity, and say, I can't give her anything, or else I'll no disguise anymore.
Well, you have to, or else, like, this is.
It was just a favor. I don't have to. It's just a favor. We all here have sanctuary, right? I don't have to give it to them.
Well, you have sanctuary if you stay here for the rest of your life.
I'm not staying here for the rest of my life. It's so boring. Have you seen this place?
But
It's not my style.
But that's how the sanctuary works, does it not?
But we're gonna sort things. You four are gonna sort this out, right? That was the plan.
Yeah, by sorting this out, meaning, like, the other three are gonna be here and they will discuss what they want to do with you.
Yeah, and you'll advocate for me.
I mean,
True. I'm allergic to bullshit.
Semilai,
Oh yes. What can I-
so
how can I help
sorry,
you?
but, this person right behind me,
Mhm.
she's actually a shapeshifter.
Oh.
And she's currently taking the form of someone else, and apparently if she removes any part of that shape that she took over, then the shape shift will stop working.
Semilai will walk the cane, making
Oh, boy.
clicky noises against the floor, wood on wood noises, as well as their just feet, the footfalls making the same wood upon wood clicking noise, and will walk over towards you, Integrity. They were already close-ish to you because they had fixed your knee and taken these scraps of fabric from all of you. But they'll take like the 2 steps needed to be like closer to to like that general area, and look Ferdinand up and down and reach out a small or a wrinkled and knotted wooden hand and just scrape some mud off of her like shoulder. And then rub that on like the lower, like near the legs.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
And it just smears on. And Semlai will say, this is perfectly fine. Not everyone has clothes to part with. Some have loose scales, some loose feathers, others shed skin. These sorts of things are acceptable here. It's only natural that some might not have something to give.
Now hand over your mud.
This is a stick up.
I don't normally let shapeshifters in, so I would have enjoyed if you had told me that before, though.
Oof.
So,
Yeah, Ferdinand, why didn't you say so?
I didn't want to say anything.
I'm sorry, we didn't know when we first. got
You're a
there.
shapeshifter? Oh my gosh.
Anyways, if the 4 of you need anything, I will be looking through the looking glass. Again, feel free to browse through anything. Take what you need. If you want to get some rest, the canopy has beds of leaves for you to rest in. I, again, assume it won't be soon that your other associates will be arriving. And I will go look for your mentor in the meantime.
Thank you. So they'll be invited and we can look around and do whatever here?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
No
Absolutely.
problems. And Semlai walks down the stairs off towards that branch with the telescope on it. What do the 4 of you want to do? What are the 4 of you doing, rather?
the books.
Yeah.
We want to browse through
Yeah,
the
books. Book party.
Serenep wants to go ask them a question because talking like communicating with gods and stuff, maybe they might have information about the voice that she heard.
Interesting.
Like, what does it feel
Okay.
like when you communicate with the god? Because, like, try to understand what happened then.
Okay.
Hmm.
So the 3 of you, Mira, Integrity, Mira, and Winsler, as well as Ferdinand, because she's tied to you, Integrity, will stay here in what is I've called in my notes Semlai's study. I can't speak right now. Meanwhile, Serenep, you wanted to go out with Semlai, or go to Semlai on the canopy on that branch next to the telescope, and ask them some questions about.
Plus, it's a peaceful area to kind of go
Yeah.
to with the birds and everything.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Winsler, Integrity, and Miro, what are you looking for? How are you looking for it? Narrate to me the actions you take to find stuff.
Okay, so I'm assuming that this is like a big wall of just books, or is it like a small bookshelf? Just
It's a bit. We can say it's a
It's
big.
it's a cubby.
I was imagining a little cubby, like nothing. Okay, how about this? Like a good compromise between these 2 ideas. It's like the full wall, but it doesn't go higher than like 2 feet. So it's just 2 little shelves along the entire lower section of this wall. Okay.
okay. So I'm just going to browse through and see if anything is of interest, like perhaps looking at maybe history of the gods, or potentially how to get out of pacts with or not with warlocks, but with powerful beings. Like,
Yeah, there's a
Integrity, what are you reading?
book right here called "How to Weasel Your Way Out of Important Magical Deals You Made." No, there's not that. Sorry.
or books about different
Mm-hmm.
potions.
Books about different potions.
Because I don't know.
Okay.
I think Integrity is one thing about Integrity is she's interested in alchemy.
That's something we haven't spoken about in 100 episodes.
Well,
Very
yes,
long
but
time.
it's something that she's interested in.
Yeah. In that case, you can roll a Arcana check then, because that's relevant to like, you could roll Arcana or Nature, depending on which one's better for you to find potions books.
That is an 18.
Okay. You find next to there's a small alchemy station, if you recall, that has like some very messy equipment as if it wasn't perfectly cleaned up last time it was used, which looks to be quite recently. There's again a couple of reagents stored here in powdered forms, in little wicker baskets. And powder in a wicker basket is a stupid thing, yes, but nonetheless it is stored like that. And there's a stout little book, I would say. It looks to be one that you could have like a field guide almost, I would say. That's like the size of this book, and it is written in what languages do you speak even? I asked you this last
Common,
time.
Draconic, Infernal, and Thieves can't.
Thieves can't. Thieves can't.
We can't keep making the joke.
Okay. You recognize that there's a bunch of flowers and different other little smoky effects on the cover, and then opening it, you can very easily identify that seems to be alchemical recipes in this book. However, since you don't speak Primordial, you cannot understand any of it. So you would either have to have someone else read it to you, or get a translation of some sort, or use magic to comprehend it. But there is a lot of beautiful pictures and diagrams, and from what you can get from it, Integrity, this is a very comprehensive and very advanced guide to potion making.
Okay, well, since I don't understand it, and we've been told that we can keep them, and it's very pretty, and I like hoarding things, I'm going to pocket it.
Okay.
I smell a very interesting deal in the future.
Oh, interesting, Winsler. So yeah, Winsler, what are you doing? What are you looking for here?
Spells. If I'm being honest, I'll put it bluntly.
Roll investigation for me.
Pretty good. That's a 21.
Oh, that is very good. Okay.
When I roll, when it doesn't matter,
it matters. It matters.
Does it?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Winsler, you like do the thing. You like there's like small crates of books almost. They're not just stored like you would store a regular book on a bookshelf for easy access. Some of them are just like piled in wicker boxes and put on the shelf.
Oh, almost like you would see at like an actual library. It's like the return bin, and then you have like the weird whatever bin. You don't know what you're gonna find in there. But you find something that's really like weird and cool.
Bag. Yeah. You after looking at the ones that are like regularly stored, those seem to be a lot of journals and like historical accounts of planar conflict and boring stuff. You start pulling out these like little wicker like grab bags of books. You find it is a set of 17 pages bound between two pieces of slate. Right?
Rock book.
The covers are made of rock, and etched on the cover is just a tree and a very, very happy looking elk. And the title is Druidcraft.
Ooh.
I need you to roll me a d4.
A d4?
Yeah, to see which spells you're gonna get. Actually, roll me 2d4 since you rolled so high.
Okay. Here we go.
Yahoo!
Okay, so that's a 1 and a 3.
Okay. So there's there's 3 spells contained in this book. The first one, since you do read Primordial, Winsler, when you open up this page, it is like a utterly archaic form of Primordial that you would probably have to spend a week or so getting the feel of and actually scribing over to your spell book if you wanted to use these spells. Like
Dwarf versus Dwarven.
The first one in here, and it seems the most simple one, is the spell Conjure Woodland Beings.
Oh.
The next one, which appears to be a bit more complicated, is Guardian of Nature.
Oh.
And remind me, what was your second D4 roll?
3.
A 3. And the third one is the spell Awaken.
Oh. These are nice sounding spells.
Yeah, and it's in this slate-bound book.
Well, this is gonna be like a job to carry, but I'll take it.
It has a very happy. You all see Winslow looking at this book with a very happy elk. It's so obviously it's like very like just exuberant elk on the title.
It's like a children's book.
It's very much like it looks like a kid's book. Yes, like give a mouse a pancake is the one. What's the moose one? Give a moose a
muffin.
Muffin. Thank you, Sarah. And then finally you, Mira.
Yeah.
How are you looking for stuff here, and what are you looking for?
I'm thinking I'm gonna be like looking at like the words on the spines, just like tracing my finger across to like note keywords. I think there's a couple things that I'm interested in. So I don't think that I'm going to find anything that pertains to Shiora, but I'm still gonna keep my eyes out just in case I see something. What I'm really looking at is like things about like planes and planar shifts and like mass sort of demiplanes and things like that, because I'm still a little bit like hung up on like what Ferdinand was telling us about like there are all of these things that if you were in the prime material plane you should know about but you don't, and I'm like what the fuck, right?
Okay, roll a investigation check for me then, or if there's another check that you think would be relevant that's not investigation, that could also be fun.
I feel like investigation is like the most intuitive one.
I also agree, but I just wanted to open it up.
That's a 13 plus 3. That is a 16.
Okay. Okay. You run your finger along the spines of these bound books. Most of them seem to be journals written by hand, and what you can likely glean is Semele's writing. Just different accounts, different journals throughout the many, many years that they have been alive and living here. And some of them, if you were to like some of them might be like like there might be one or two that are like the goings on of planes part 1, and you pull that one open excited, and then most of it's just like, I saw squirrels today, they looked so delighted to be alive.
Oh my God.
Right, stuff like that. And like disappointingly put those back onto the shelf, and you'd continue with that until you arrive at the very first, it seems, journal that is on this shelf. It does have a number on it even, which is just 1. And the title of this journal is Creation.
Ooh.
And you can pull it out. It's thin, almost like it might be 10 or so pages, like very small, right? It's old. It feels difficult it feels like it could fall apart in your hands almost. Very fragile, and so you might be very gentle when you put it down to read. Like you might not hold it in your hands to read almost, you might want to put it down somewhere. And you do so, and opening the first page, it's just nonsense, right? It's just scrawlings and scribbles of ink or charcoal upon paper. It's nothing. No language, at least, that you have any comprehension or awareness of. And then it very quickly turns into this archaic form of, after 2 or so pages, it turns into that archaic form of primordial that you're seeing very often everywhere else. And it just is written, I am alive, created by Isithil. The deity made me, the third of my kind, the third eldest being here in this plane.
Ooh.
Isithil's monster.
The third
monster. Everyone always calls them Isithil, but actually...
There's more as well.
Okay.
There's more.
Their power knows no bounds, like a sea with infinite depth. I will keep it safe here from any who want to find it.
Interesting.
And then it descends very quickly into, I saw so many squirrels.
I brought some peanuts outside to feed them, and they all just jumped into my lap, and I pet them all.
There was a squirrel on my head.
Yeah, and then like one journal entry that's like, I'm not there's another one. They made a fourth, and then they made a fifth, and then so on and so forth, right? Like kind of just they made more elders, right?
Okay, interesting.
This one looks like a squirrel.
It does. I think the through line that you can glean from looking at so many of these journals, Mira, is one, what I've just told you there, and two, Semilai loves squirrels, loves trees.
Oh, damn.
Absolutely.
Do any of you want to have conversations about this in here while you look about what you find?
I would like to have a conversation, but not about what we find.
Okay.
Can I have it?
Can I have it? Pretty
No,
please.
You're banned from talking about things that are irrelevant to the current scene. Yes, absolutely. You're all kind of like perusing in silence, the tweeting of birds, this warm feeling in your hearts, this coziness, integrity. You're devoid of any aches and pains. Ferdinand is kind of sheepish off in the corner, like poking at stuff. What do you say?
Winsler, Mira.
Yeah?
What's up?
So I've been wondering, I just wanted to see what your opinions were. So I have this spell that allows me to see the past of an item, and I need to use it in a place where it's super magical, which I think that this place is, and I'm debating on whether to use it on the wand that I found in the sewers, or to use it on the...
You did not find the wand in the sewers. You found it in the sunken hatch.
And I'm just going to like raise my eyes, sort of like insinuating that it's the orbs, but without saying it out loud, just because I'm afraid that Ferdinand knows something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know, like maybe the knife that is from Shiora. So I just wanted to see what you guys' opinions were.
I mean, I
How
guess
exactly-
you can
How
only
does the
use
spell
it in
work?
a... Sorry.
And
almost like the
Integrity's like,
silence.
wait, what?
It's almost like the
Sorry.
silence in the room in this area, like the ambience, just like you feel like you're interrupting someone when you're speaking, so everyone's like tentative, hesitant to speak, and then Mira and Winslow keep going, over one another.
Wah.
So, what was the question again?
Yeah, we were both, I guess, trying to give our takes. I was just wondering, how exactly does the spell work? What does it tell you exactly?
So I have the scroll, and Professor Doss said that I need to read it with the item that I want to do it on. That's pretty much all she said. And she said that it needs to be in a magical, like an area with high magic, strong magic.
Okay. I mean, this is a place of pretty powerful magics, it seems. I feel like if you don't use it now, maybe we probably might not find another place of that caliber.
But which item, though? Because I have 3 different things that I think would give insight into really big things that we've been dealing with. So I'm just confused. I don't know what to do. I was going to use it on the wand, but then I realized that I also have the orb, and I also have the knife from Shiora.
The Jade Dagger.
The infamous murder weapon.
Well, if you used it on the knife, do we know that it would sort of do what you wanted it to? Because if you think about like the last thing it was used for, it might just talk about the fight that we were already in. I guess the thing hasn't really been used for anything except for the stuff that you haven't used it to do anything, right? So that could be something. I mean, but the wand would be helpful too. I guess I would suggest ruling out the knife, but between the other two, I mean, that's up to you.
Winsler?
I would say I think you might want to focus on using it on one of those items that you're probably not sure about. Like, sure, there was the knife, and we know exactly kind of what that has been through. I would say either the wand or the orb, because you probably don't have any sort of idea about what the wand was used for. That could give a lot of information right off the bat. The orb has probably been through a lot, so it probably has a lot of like it's probably been through a lot, so you could probably gain a lot of information just from looking into the past of the orb. So it's whatever you think would be most valuable in terms of information, I guess.
Okay. So I'm just gonna walk like a fair distance away.
Okay.
Well, I guess if I walk away from them,
Ferdinand
will also be coming with me,
yeah.
so I don't know how that will work. Well, obviously I'm gonna say,
You could untie her.
okay, thank you thank you. I'll think about it, and then I will walk to another side of the room.
Sure. You guys can make me perception checks if you'd like.
All of us?
Yeah, if you want. If you were focused on the conversation at hand, or like just focused on like reading your book and having the conversation at the same time, don't. But if you were like looking around also, then yeah.
I thought that was a 1, but it's a 7 plus 3, so 10.
Perception, you say?
Yes.
14.
15.
Okay. There's a calling of birds. There's a lot of nice warmness in here. You hear like a cacophony coming from over in the canopy where Serenep and Semele currently are. Yeah, nothing incredibly of note. And Integrity, you wanted to walk away.
Because I'm gonna cast the spell.
Right here, right now.
Well, I mean, like, I couldn't think of any other time because, like, I don't know when the other people will come, right? So
I'm imagining you walk out of this room, Semele's study, onto like this little landing area, this balcony overlooking this main hub room, and you stand there and pull from your bag a scroll.
Yes.
You pop the little top on the scroll case, unfurl this long piece of parchment written in a beautiful ink, and that like just the script, like the there's a lot of craftsmanship that went into like the creation of this scroll. Like the ones that you can get from the library or the archives rather they're nice, but it definitely you can feel the care and attention to detail that went into creating this one, if that makes sense, Integrity. And as you look at the ink and read over the incantation, someone walks up next to you, Ferdinand, and will say, So what's this about? So what's all this about a memory scroll? What are you doing? A knife and a thing? And she'll lean on the banister and look at you as you read over this scroll, Integrity.
We're sort of involved in something, and I just wanted to find out what happened to the item.
Oh. So did you make this?
Which one?
You made the scroll.
No, someone made it for me.
Oh.
And
you have to be somewhere very powerful or magical for it to work.
Apparently so.
She'll lean in close and kind of almost gesture for you to like lean in.
No.
I am going to like wrap the scroll back and
put it in the scroll case and back in your
backpack. And move close to her just because I don't know what she'll do.
She'll say, We're in a godly place. We got told. I don't know if you know anything about Isithil, do you? There's temples around the whole plane that have little bits and pieces of divine magic. And she'll raise her eyebrows at you, Integrity.
Okay. And I'm going to make a confused face, like, what are you trying to get at?
My assumption is there's something around here that might have some powerful magic stored in it, some sort of reservoir of divine magic. If you need a lot of magic power to cast that, then do you think you could cast it on multiple things if you had more? If you tapped into a little bit of divine magic straight from the source?
She's a bad influence.
She almost like leans back at that.
Well, I think that this is a very magical area, so I don't understand why I'm not arguing somewhere else.
No. We don't have to go somewhere else. I was just suggesting, speculating even, that maybe, and she'll smile at you, smirk at you.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe there could be something around that stored some sort of some vessel, I don't know, of Isithil's power that you could used to channel the spell. I overheard you were deliberating between a few different things, and you only have the one spell. So why not take you heard Semilai. Feel free to wander, and if it's not behind a closed door, take it.
I don't know if I should trust someone who is looking for, or I don't know if I should trust someone that 3 people want to kill, and that's only people that we know.
Yes, I think that's a real assumption you've just made, that only 3 people want to kill me. I'm a little insulted, but you need to think about it from my perspective.
Which is?
I want to get into your good graces. You're the one who has me captive. And you're the one who's going to, has some of you sold souls to that hag Celti. Some of you are working with the ivory masked woman for some sort of reason. You made a deal with Loud. You could at any point just decide to screw me over and hand me over to one of them, and you haven't, I assume, because you're kind-hearted people, and I just want to do my best to look out for me, and if that means buttering you all up, then I'm willing to lower myself to that, to buttering you up, to helping you out.
Can I insight check this? If she's being genuine.
Yeah. Make one.
21.
It's a shame I left all my butter at home.
3.
It's like this is something that she wanted to... Yeah, this feels like a very true intention, right? Like the I want to butter you up so you don't betray me kind of thing.
Okay.
Right? And if buttering you up entails looking around this place and telling you about information that she didn't otherwise want to tell you about, then if that's what it takes to not die, right? Like you get I feel like you can at this point ascertain Ferdinand is a do whatever it takes to survive kind of woman.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever it takes right now is giving you a little info. And she's leaning on this banister, smiling at you. Rope tied around her waist, connected to you.
Well, I guess we have a little more time.
Yeah, the 2 of us could just go look around, find something, run into it. Oopsies. Used a little bit of Isithil's magic. If it's not behind a locked door, you heard her. We can have it.
Okay.
Is a deal?
Well, no, I'm not gonna make a deal.
I don't mean it evil deal. Sorry. Sore subject. I apologize. It's a...
All I'm saying is that I'm not gonna use it right now.
Oh, we'll look around. You and I can look around, poke around, find some of the good stuff, and then you can use your magic. And think of me in a fond light for giving you this information of no cost. Like, it didn't cost you anything, right? This is a completely selfless act on my behalf.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sure.
Let's go look then. And she'll stand up straight, Integrity.
And I'm totally going to, like, sort of shake my head, like, what the heck just happened there, but might as well.
Okay.
Because she made good points.
She did. Meanwhile, Serenep Cinderman.
Oh.
Hello. You walked into this canopy, this little branch with the telescope on the end. On either side, there's little, like, you know, in a snowbank, how when you're a kid, you make a little snow fort, like you shovel out a little cove in there and you can like crawl in and people tell you it's dangerous, and it kind of is, but it's also very fun.
Yeah.
That's what this is like, but with leaves on either side of this branch, right? And as you walk down the branch towards Semilai, this wooden person staring through this telescope, you hear chittering and chirping and the braying of a horse coming from these different little rooms. Did you just want to address Semilai and ask them questions, Sam?
Well, right now she's busy looking through the telescope, right?
Yeah. Oh, another thing that you'd probably see. You see a little chubby lizard who has these beautiful little feathery wings. They have a little scroll tied around their ankle, and they're trying to fly away. And on the... they're like going very slow, and as you walk by them, you can probably see written on the outside of the scroll is just "to Celti," right? And this little turquoise lizard is just like a bigger bearded dragon almost, but with wings, is what I'm imagining. By the way,
Could I like is he like, are they already flying or are they like?
Yeah, it looks like they're struggling though.
Oh, okay. I don't know how much I can help them, but I'm gonna bring them to like the edge of the tree so they're not traveling like from where they were to get out of the tree at least.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're like midway down the branch. They have a ways to go, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna like bring my hand out to it and see
Yeah.
if it'll land on my hand.
Oh, gladly. It like perches on there. I think it's much heavier than you might have been expecting. It like
I've been lifting Virgil as weight. It's fine.
It like immediately just relaxes all. Like it's like you were like, oh, I'll offer it a hand to like help it out, and it I think interpreted that as someone will carry me, and so I have to put in no effort now. And so you have this, and you can still carry it in one hand. It's just a bit hefty. This little turquoise bearded dragon with feathery wings, and you can carry them down. Semilai sees you do this as you approach and will look away from the telescope and smile at you, Serenepth, and say, "Oh, you've made friends with one of the messengers."
Yes, no, I don't want to offend it, but I wonder how far it'll get down there. It seems to be having some speed problems.
Yes. It came to me a little while ago, a few days ago, with some torn up wings. I don't know what happened to it, and I've been trying to help it the best I can. I had hoped that this would be a bit of a confidence builder, but it might still be struggling a bit. I can send someone else if you think that would be a good idea.
I'm gonna look at the lizard. Does it look like it's exhausted at this point already, kind of thing? Or is it like building itself up?
Serenepth? Yeah. It looks like it's gotten used to like this relaxing layabout in a little leaf cubby lifestyle and does not wish to go back into the wild, wild world of Isithil.
She's going to like bring her hand up to kind of like look at it, and she's gonna bring her hand down to like rub like between its eyes, like like kind of like pet it.
Yeah.
And she's going to say, "Yeah, I think they already tuckered themselves out today."
Oh, it's no issue. Take the note. There's the Pegasus over in the leaves there. You can just give it to them. They're very good about these things.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm gonna go over and do that.
Okay. You put the lizard down. It like. Do you want to put the lizard down, or do you just want to hold this thing now?
I don't think it's a good idea because it already left its little cubby. I think it would be a good idea to just hold it until I find where their cubby is.
Okay.
Or if they want to fall asleep in my hand, I mean, I'm good with that too.
They're like on the verge of it. After you pet them, they were like just utterly relaxed, like lying on your forearm.
Okay, in that case, I'm just gonna like hold it until I eventually have to leave the room.
Okay. So you can grab the little rolled up scroll on its leg that was just tied on there with what looks like a little vine. You can walk over to where you hear the braying from the leaves and like almost push aside some branches, and you see a very beautiful horse sitting there in the leaves. It is a I have a note here. It looks well groomed, Serenepth. It looks at you. It has almost a regal look about it. This horse, this Pegasus. It is polka dotted with lime green dots on a fuchsia base of fur, and it has these like orange and purple wings.
Oh my god, this is beautiful.
And it like raises its head up like a noble steed might as you approach it.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to approach it slowly, and if it shows any like you've like come too far into my space, I'm going to stop walking.
Make animal handling check, please.
Sure.
Serenepth just gets a job as a stable worker now.
Well, I imagine that she's worked with horses and everything before.
You've definitely been around horses. I think to the extent to which you've worked with them might be minimal.
Oh no, like
you've
not
definitely
like
been around them a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's like watched other people handle horses.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yes. So yeah, animal handling, please.
Ooh, that's a good number. I think it's a good number. Give me 1 second. Animal handling is +2, so 16.
Oh, that is a nice number. I think animal handling is a seldom used skill. I should use it more.
Look at all these animals that Sereneth can handle.
Exactly. She can hold so many at once. The horse, the Pegasus, I apologize. It bows its head as you approach it and will stand up and kind of like flap its wings out as if to like get them warmed up. The same way people might do if you're about to do some sort of physical exercise, you might want to limber up. The horse, this Pegasus, begins to limber its wings up and stretch out, and it will
beautiful.
Wait for you to approach it, Sereneth. What would you like to do?
Do I see anything on the Pegasus's form that like where I would be able to put this note?
Around its neck is those like Saint Bernard little barrels?
Oh my god. Yes.
It's similar to that, but a little wicker barrel around its neck that you could almost like a lobster trap is what I'm imagining, that you could open and put this note in if you would like.
Okay, she's going to when it bows, she's going to also kind of bow because like she doesn't know, she's never worked with a Pegasus before, so she's like, okay, follow it, like mirror the actions, make sure you're doing it this as nice as possible. And she's like, when she comes over and she opens the trap, or not the trap,
the little door on this neck basket.
She's going to say, "Thank you so much. I'm sorry to have disturbed your rest. Our friend here wasn't quite ready." And she's going to put it in and I guess try to like she wants to like show some way of being like, thank you for doing this. And she's going to like hold her hand out to be like, "Are you okay if I like pet your like nose?"
The horse, the Pegasus. Gosh, I'm so sorry to all Pegasuses out there.
Sorry, Pegasuses.
All our Pegasus listeners.
Sorry, Shira's Pegasus.
Sorry, Shira. We didn't mean to insult.
The Pegasus puts its head forward and rubs its nose along. When you actually say, Sereneth, like, "Oh, this little guy wasn't ready to go," you feel the Pegasus gives a very judgmental stare at the lizard. And like flaps its also feathery wings out as the lizard lays there with its feathery wings kind of wilted and lazy.
When she sees that, she's like, "It's not their fault. They were hurt. They're healing."
And so as you rub its nose and put this note in its basket, it will kind of, and back away, I would assume, it will kind of rear up and then just take flight off through these branches, leaving behind it a lovely Pegasus-like hole in the canopy as branches and leaves fall upon you. Before the canopy weaves back together, the sticks seem to regrow very quickly.
Oh, this is such a beautiful, magical place.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
She's vibing with this so hard.
Delightful here. This is like the most peaceful Isithil has ever been.
And I can't wait for it all to come crashing down when the party guests arrive.
This is the most peaceful part of a trip to Isithil Sereneth has ever experienced.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong in the tree.
Would you like to ask Semilai about gods?
I guess so, yeah. Now is the time.
Who's your favorite?
No, she's not going to go down that kind of route. She's going to walk over and like how into her search do they look right now?
They were kind of watching you, and they're just like smiling with this kindly face of theirs. And as you like exit out of that little Pegasus's room, and start walking back, they will kind of put the telescope back in its resting position, which is to just point it straight down, and kind of look approachable for you and say, "Was there something that you needed to speak to me about?"
Not pertaining to what's currently happening. I do want to apologize for the imposition of everything happening.
Of course. It's no problem. That is why I am here, to offer elders and creatures of the plane sanctuary and safety in this dangerous place.
Yes, we've had some run-ins at this point the last couple of times we visited, so it's nice to be somewhere so calming.
I'm glad. It took a long time for me to make the loft the way it was. In the early days, the elders would hang around here incessantly. made for not a very welcoming place. No one wants to come visit when the first creations of Isithil are
To be
around.
honest, that was one of the reasons we hadn't gone through the main doors. It was sort of my word on it. When I saw the carvings, I expected that was a spot for the elders to all rest, and I didn't want to step in there, especially with the last conversation we had at that time.
Yes. No. None of the others aren't here currently. They're elsewhere looking for solutions to certain higher problems than anything that I must bother you with. I do apologize for the reaction to your attempting to speak to the speaker. Thank you for following proper rituals. At any other time than now, it would have been perfectly fine. And I do apologize on behalf of all of Isithil's beings for if you felt unsafe or unwelcome. It was not our intent.
It wasn't that I felt unsafe. I obviously do not know the celestial language, and so I felt that I had annoyed them when I had said such, that it would be rude that I would try to talk to the gods and then say, oh, well, could you please speak my language, sort of thing. But I am happy to see that it wasn't as far as I had interpreted it then.
No. Was there anything else you wanted to speak to me about?
Yes, actually. As I said, a separate thing, sort of connecting to speaking to other beings. A while ago, I had been in a bit of a rough situation, and basically, I believe that as Sam talking to Luke currently.
Yeah, hi, Sam.
Was it specifically like charm, or was it like a different name for the spell?
The specific ability was revere that Nesca used upon you. Yeah.
But it has like the same associations to like charming or like suggestion.
It's similar, but it is a directly orb specific magic.
Okay, so yeah, she wouldn't know the name for that kind of stuff.
No.
Basically it put me in sort of a trance, and then a voice spoke to me, told me to sort of snap out of it, and then I came back to myself.
Who?
That's the thing, I don't know.
Did you pray to anyone?
No, I'm not someone who, sadly, I'm not someone who, follows a lot of traditions when it comes
That's perfectly acceptable.
Prayers and such.
It's becoming less and less common in the worlds these days, it is what it is.
I try and follow other traditions while praying hasn't been a big thing. We have like festivals and such that we participate in. But anyway, so I have tried to contact this voice again. I've tried doing research into it, but it all points to the same information. But I haven't been able to figure out who it was, and I was just wondering, would there be a way to find out?
There are old ways to do this, yes, but I fear that they are beyond what I would ever recommend for someone like you. I would say, if you have the ability to return to where this happened, if it's not a place that was lost or destroyed in the predicament, I would return there and try to commune with whatever power contacted you. I would also caution you of going alone. There are interposers in these worlds that you have likely interacted with, seeing as some of them are visiting us here soon. There are interposers in these worlds that would do us harm. And you have a wonderful group of people. They will look out for you. They will love you. Bring them with you if you are ever going to pursue this.
Okay. Yes, I had hoped to not have to return there, but I would bring company with me to make sure all is well.
Yes. I fear that returning to where these things occur may be the only way, unless you were of some sort of divine creation, which unfortunately you are not. I apologize if that's a rude thing to say, but it is just the way of things.
Serenet's parents, how dare you?
They appear talking to.
They appear out of one of the canopies. This is where we go on vacation. Like, what the
Unbelievable.
No, I've never suspected any sort of strong divine set in my creation of any sort. No.
Okay.
That was all I really wanted to ask in a large form.
Yes.
I think I only had one other question. When we were in the marsh and such, the wisps, they ever since I heard the voice, basically, I don't know how to explain this. Electricity sort of, and she kind of like shows her like the scales on her arm and everything. She's like, it affects parts of my body, if that makes sense. They glow. It's gone now, but I felt like the electricity of their form when they kind of passed through us in a weird way. I could sense them.
Do you mind if I touch this? And they'll reach out at your like elbow scales even, or like the ones on your wrist.
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
And
Kills
you feel
them.
a rough wooden hand run along the scales. They lean their face in close and inspect them, and they will let go, or they'll like almost hold your hand peacefully, and they will say, "It's just a beautiful heritage, I think. And I don't know if it's this voice that awoke it in you, or if it was already there, but it's just likely a natural sensitivity that's been increased maybe to these things. Have you used it for any sort of magic? That's what it seems to be, some sort of internalized storage of magic of some sort. I have a similar thing with primordial magic in myself, so it's nothing uncommon to me."
Well, after the event and the voice and everything, I used some magic to do something, and there was definitely a lightning element to what I did. And I definitely felt, I don't know what the proper word would be. It felt like I was far too set.
I see. There's magic in your blood. I don't know to what degree or to what power it is, but it is there. And my guess is that when you are around this lightning, this magical forms of lightning or otherwise, you might start to take on some sort of energy from it. The way that a person might take on energy from being around friends and family, that warm feeling you might feel inside. But I would caution against holding on to too much of it, or else you might feel that way too charged up, as it were. I know that I sometimes feel that way. When the too many visitors come here, too many small creatures to mend to, I feel like it's overwhelming for me. I have an overwhelming surge of energy in my being, just a bit uncontrollable. So I would expel it as often as is necessary.
Okay.
And they'll tap you on the hand.
Thank you so much for answering my questions.
No problems at all.
I will let you return to your work again, and thank you again.
Absolutely. Enjoy your stay here. Again, if it's not behind any doors, then feel free to look at it and poke around. Make yourselves at home as best as you can, and be safe and secure here while under my protection and my grace Isithil's protection. And they smile at you gently as you walk back into that hub room, Sereneth. And that's where we'll end this episode, folks.
And on the floor is
Training
Ferdinand
divine
dead.
magic from these temples.
Because
Sarah,
Integrity
can you
pushed
do
her
an
off.
outro, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Trials and Trebuchets. If you did, please leave us a rating or a review on iTunes or whatever podcatcher app you use. It really helps us out so much. Please give us 5 stars, but if you don't want to give us 5 stars, I understand. It's just that Luke and Ben were both like holding up 5 fingers and mouthing the words.
If you can't give us a 5, we'll take a 4.
We'll take it, yeah. That really helps us out so much. Also, if you would like to see maps, drawings of the characters, teasers, exclusive content, you can check us out on our social media at Trials and Trebs on Instagram or Twitter. You can also find our Discord server where you can talk to us, talk to other listeners, and just have a wonderful time in the links in the descriptions of our episodes. I think that is everything. Oh, no, it isn't. If you would like to really show us that extra support, you can also support us on Patreon at Trials and Trebs, which helps us do things like afford our hosting fees, get art commissioned, dedicate more time to getting better equipment so that we can improve our sound quality. Absolutely, all of those things. And you get amazing rewards like getting to get first access to things like stickers and cassettes when we put them out. At some tiers, getting to read DM notes and have a student character that you create in the show. All kinds of things like that. Just so dunk.
Incredible.
Yes. It's incredible.
It's
Why?
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. I hope it relaxed you after this moderately stressful arc. We needed a little bit of breathing room, I think. Next week, more
death.
Yeah, more of the same.
More
cool.
Bye, everyone. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Hello?
Hello?